Hi, happy Wednesday. Today we're continuing our intuition series, and my name is Anuschka Alborzian. I'm an empowerment health coach and healer.
I am Samar Tehrani. I'm a behavioral health professional. I am an addictionologist.
And we're going to continue, as I said, with the intuition. Hopefully you saw our daily tip yesterday and you're discovering if you're more of a knower or more of a feeler at this point. We'll be expanding on, the different types of intuitions more so tomorrow. But today, I actually wanted to talk about contractions and expansions within the body, especially for those that are feelers. We'll talk about the knowers too. Knowers just know. So it's a bit more difficult to, actually do an exercise around it and follow along and see. You'll know, it's the very first thing that comes to mind typically as a knower. And you'll just know. You just know, and there is nothing, there's no logical explanation to it. But as soon as you start thinking about it is when that's no longer your intuition. So just keep that in mind. As for those feelers, now, again, everybody follow this because I would love to, have this exercise for everyone. I'm going to do an exercise where everyone's going to just close their eyes and take a few deep breaths. And I'm going to walk through Samar with this. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And as you're taking these deep breaths, just scan your body from head to toe. And begin to go to your happy place. We all have that. We all have this beautiful place that just makes us feel so warm and joyful and all the smiles and love. And let me know when you're there. Did you notice any shifts in your body?
Yes.
Where was it shifted in your body?
I normally feel it in my upper body.
Okay.
Right? There's a sense of opening that happens for me or closing. Right?
Awesome. Yeah. So that's exact. So when you start noticing this open, right, expanded, that in itself is really what it comes down to as a translation is it's a yes. So for instance, we talked yesterday and you said you notice a difference when you go somewhere where there's lower vibe energies and, you get more drained and you can just sense it. So that is your body saying no, because we'll get to that piece. But when then you go around those that are uplifting and are just, positive vibes, high vibes, energy, right? And this could be anything. We're just using people right now and people's energy because we're all energy. So when you get that expansion, expanded feeling, that's a yes. That's your body saying, yes, this is what is a yes for me, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and have you close your eyes again. Let's just go ahead and do the second part of it. So now, I promise I'll get you out of this, but for now, just go to a really sad, upsetting memory that you have. Or somebody that you get frustrated with, someone that, gives you those unpleasant feelings. And let me know where you're sensing it again. And I know you said chest, but I just want to make sure you're. And that, so did you feel it in your chest?
One of the things that I normally feel is this feeling of droopiness.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when I feel that, I have a tendency to go in.
Okay.
Right. So that expansion is out and up. Mm-hmm. This one is more I mean, again, it's really difficult to explain these things, but yeah, I mean, it starts here, and then I feel like almost an energy that's pulling me down,
mm-hmm.
And that sensation is not a good sensation for me. Or I have never identified it as a good sensation. So I have a tendency to close my body in a sense of protection,
Yeah. So then, and so it's whatever it is, it's a feeling of contraction.
That's right.
Right? It's a contracted feeling. And that is your body saying no, your intuition saying no to whatever it is. So these are feelings that now you take it on into the world, right? Now what you can do when you're out and about, you can ask questions like with anything, right? Like I can grab this water and say, will this serve and benefit my body? And then notice your body. Notice how it feels. Like if I probably grab a bottle of alcohol, most likely my body's going to get contracted. It takes practice though. It's not something that's because, you know, we've been out of practice for so long. So you can do it with anything. At this point, anything I'm going to purchase, anything I'm going to do, I'm always, you know, and I mean, at this point, I've also expanded. I see words now. So like it used to just be a gut feeling. And again, I'm going to talk more about, you know, the different types of intuitions tomorrow. But yeah, so for me initially, it's a gut. Like even when I did this exercise with, you know, and by the way, go back to your happy place. Let's like not leave you in it. So close your eyes. Let's go back to the happy place. Happy place. Yeah. Or just, you know, what if you had if you had it all your way, what would that look like? What's your dream? You know, and like, what is that? What is that for you? Because that a lot of times will create that expansion too, right? Because that's like a hell yes to our body. And, you know, you can, like I said, take this on with anything, whether it's a, you know, class you want to do, whether it's, you know, I don't know, something you want to purchase, a party you want to go to, anything really. And the best questions are, you don't want to ask should, because that's such a, you know, vague word. The main thing is, will this benefit me in whatever it is? Like, will this benefit me in making more money? Will this benefit my body in health? Will this serve my body in health? And so these are the specific questions you want to ask, and just, if you need to close your eyes, do that and just be with that and see the sensation within your body. Or if it's a knowing, you just know.
That's right. That's right. And I think one of the things that is really important to reiterate here is that there's a sense of, so this is a sensation, so it requires practice. And then, you know, you have to also open yourself up to it in order to really kind of allow the body not to go into its protective mode of blocking us. So when you open yourself up, you start to sense things.
Yep.
And not being afraid of it, because it's just a sensation that leads, basically. Helps Absolutely. Us lead. So.
Yeah. And then I'll just leave, because I feel like we have a couple minutes. So I'm just going to leave this one with everyone too. For those that are having a little bit of difficulty around this, I'm going to stand up so I can actually show you. You can use your body as a pendulum. I don't know if you've actually heard about this. Have you heard about using your body as a pendulum? Okay. So what you can do is, yes and no's are the questions that we want to, like, for the most part, get down to, right? And then you start expanding on other things. At the beginning, you want to just get to a place where you can start sensing what is a yes for you and what is a no for you, okay? And if you are feeling like, okay, I'm not, like, it's a bit difficult, you can also use this and then have this reconfirm whatever sensation you're feeling or whatever knowing you have. You can't be skeptical, because if you're skeptical, this is not going to work. So you got to fully believe. Okay, so like and I'm going to stand sideways so you can actually see my body. And you can literally say, body, show me a yes. And you allow your body just to sway. Did you see me sway?
Yeah, you went forward.
Okay. So then I'm going to like get body, show me a no. Did you see that? Yeah, so I went backwards. And then at the same time, I'm not only seeing the no or the yes, but I'm also feeling the contraction or the expansion. So at this point, it's like, you know, confirmation in 3 different ways. So this is another, you know, again, you can do this with anything. Like you can hold something like, will this serve my body when it comes to health? Or, you know, or even just hold anything and just see, you know, or, you know, touch anything and see which way your body sways. But that's like another one. And you can Google this. I'm not making this up. Like, body is a pendulum.
If it's on Google, it's a fact. There's so much work done on this stuff that, and now there's the science behind it, right? Confirms that if this is something you're interested in, if this is something that you would like to practice to lead you in life, help you and lead you in life, I think it's a great practice. And truly, intuitively, I have to say that the more I depend on it, the better it serves me, right? And then there are times that, I kind of forget that, like, I have my intuition that can lead me, right?
Yeah.
So then,
it makes life so much easier. It really does. Because you don't go into that indecisive mode. Like, there's something, same. I mean, now I've gotten to a point where it's second nature, but I remember there was times I'm like, well, do I do this? Do I not? And then now it's like, no, let me just see. Is it going to serve me to do this? Is it going to, make me more business? Is it going to make me happier? Is it going to, whatever it is, right? And then when you ask it in that way, then so much quicker. And you don't, then, like, sometimes it's the opposite of your ego too, by the way. So there are times where it will actually be like, and I remember this from chemo times, there were times that, and I've talked about this, but it's like, I actually ended up doing the exact opposite of what I wanted to do because of my intuition. And in hindsight, I was so happy I listened to my intuition.
Right.
And, but yeah, this is
I remember you used to talk about this stuff. As you were experiencing it and living that moment, you also, talked about it a lot.
Yeah, so. That's right. I did. Yeah, I would share about it. I was like crying one time, I remember, but I was like, hey, it served me not to go. And I realized it later, like, there's all my own judgments, right? Of like, oh, I don't want to look like a flake. I don't want all these things. But in reality,
Anuschka, just to close this out, I do have to say that, so a lot of the judgments that we have learned, from our world and we practice in our lives that are super blockers are actually the voice, that stops us from tapping into our intuition and allowing it to lead us. So
and I love that you said that, because actually, to add on to that, trust is huge. I don't want to leave that out. You gotta trust it. And that is one of the biggest steps that this is when this is the work I do. So if you feel like you're in that mode of like, you can't trust your intuition, then, like, feel free to reach out. Because I do notice that that's like been the biggest part of like people not actually fully tapping into their intuition. They don't trust it.
Yep. And that's the reason that I told you, I wish when I really started this work and that I would have gotten coached. Because if you're getting coached, that person helps you with the fears that start to pop up, only because you don't know it, you're unfamiliar. So not being familiar with it leads you to think, what ifs, and that's, then the fear starts to tap in, and then you shy away from it and you back out of it, right? So,
and I mean, I've been coached through
this. So important.
Totally, yeah. And I mean, had I not been coached through this myself, I would not know the amount that I know. So yeah. Anyhow, but this is a longer one, and I really think it was very beneficial for anyone.
Wonderful. See you tomorrow. Bye.